Welcome back once again, my movie peeps. CinemaCon is still continuing to go on. Yesterday, I covered the Sony presentation. I'll have that link in the description if you want to hear about all the upcoming Sony movies and detailed descriptions of all the footage they showed. And well, today it was Warner Brothers' turn to take up the stage and talk to us about their upcoming movies. And well, that's exactly what I'll be doing here for you guys, is breaking down the panel, giving you a description of each trailer shown, as well as some of the new movie announcements that we got and my general thoughts. But it's not just going to be about me. I want to hear your opinion down below. Timestamps will be in the description if you want to go ahead and skip around, but without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so yes, Warner Brothers started off their CinemaCon panel with a couple execs showing up on stage wearing some pink fancy suits. Okay, slay. Obviously, this was in promotion for the Barbie movie. They kicked things off with showing a little sizzle reel, which was kind of like a 1 minute long trailer showing a bunch of different upcoming movies that Warner Brothers has, and they just had so many movies being teased and revealed in that 1 little minute teaser, journalists were having a hard time trying to write down everything that they saw. But some of the things that were shown in that quick sizzle reel is, for one, they were given the first tiny look of the Furiosa movie. This is the prequel Mad Max movie we're gonna get about Charlize Theron's character, except it'll be played by Anya Taylor-Joy. In the small glimpse of footage, it says that Anya Taylor-Joy looks almost exactly like Charlize Theron did in the Mad Max movie, so that's exciting to hear. A lot of people also saw the title card for Beetle Juice 2, confirming that Warner Brothers is hard at work with a sequel for that movie. There was rumors a couple of weeks back that Jenna Ortega was offered a role in the film. That would make a lot of sense. She's working with Tim Burton right now in the Wednesday series. If they bring him back for Beetlejuice 2, I can see Jenna Ortega following along just because they work well together. Apparently, there was also shown a temporary logo for the upcoming Superman movie titled Superman New Legacy. But some of the surprise ones that people didn't expect to see coming is, for one, they did show a logo for a new Final Destination movie. We have been hearing that there is a new Final Destination film in the works for a while now. This is going to be produced by John Watts, the man who directed the last 3 Spider-Man movies. I wish they would have at least given us some details or talked about the movie a bit, even just letting us know what the plot will be about this time around, like what will be the big accident, you know? My money right now is like on a big cruise ship. That would be something cool to see. But either way, just them showcasing that logo means it's very much in development and it's something that they have their minds on. So another Final Destination movie headed our way. Then kind of another shocker here that I was not expecting. We also got the confirmation for the new Conjuring movie, Conjuring 4, with the official title showing up in the sizzle reel as Conjuring: The Last Rites. Now, rite is a religious term meaning a religious or solemn ceremonial act. Again, they didn't take time to kind of flesh out what exactly the movie will be about. From that title, we get kind of an idea, but we didn't even get the confirmation that like Patrick Wilson or Vera Farmiga will be coming back. We can only just assume for now, which I hope so, because that last Conjuring movie just wasn't it for me. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just kind of eh. So it's good to know that they're jumping back into the universe, and this isn't the only Conjuring thing we have. They announced a couple weeks back that they're going to have a TV series premiering on their streaming service Max, so we're getting both a Conjuring TV series and a brand new movie in the universe. And in speaking in the Conjuring universe, they did talk a lot about The Nun 2, but we'll get to that in a sec. That was kind of the big things that was shown in that little sizzle reel. From there, David Zaslav stepped up on stage and then started talking to the attendees there about going to the theaters. One thing that he made clear when talking there is that Warner Brothers and Discovery are no longer interested in making movies that are going to go straight to streaming. Right before Discovery bought Warner Brothers, this was kind of a big thing Warner Brothers was trying to do, is make movies that were only going to go to HBO Max. That was the plan for Blue Beetle, Batgirl, and Evil Dead Rise, a movie that just came out last weekend. On stage, he talked about how he's very happy with the success Evil Dead Rise had in theaters, making a profit. That movie only cost $15 million to make, and it already has made $40 million in the box office, where it was going to make zero if they had just dropped it on HBO Max. I honestly think this is a really smart move. Studies have shown that movies that go to theaters and then end up on streaming are way more successful than movies that just sometimes go to streaming. And that to me is because movies that go to theaters get a big marketing campaign, so people are aware of them, so when they eventually see them in their streaming service, they know what that movie is, instead of a movie that just randomly pops up when they open up the app and go, I've never heard of this film. From there though, during the panels where they started focusing on individual movies and giving them their time to shine by showcasing footage and bringing out stars to kind of talk about the films. Starting off here with the upcoming Greta Gerwig Barbie movie that I am insanely hyped for. Still in utter shock that is my feelings towards a live action Barbie movie. One cool thing that they mentioned on stage before they showcased the footage, which I will detail you what it was here in a sec, is that they mentioned the same creative team who made the new Batmobile for Robert Pattinson's Batman was also the same team tasked to working on the cars for the Barbie movie. So In a weird way, the Barbie mobile is now a Batmobile. Beginning on some of the footage they showed here, a description has it as, in the clip, Barbie is on the pink beach enjoying her posh life with Ken, dancing the night away, but the world goes sour. Burnt toast, cold water, and flat feet. The latter which makes her and her friends yell. Margot Robbie's Barbie seeks out Weird Barbie, played by Kate McKinnon, who is like a rag doll. Weird Barbie tells Perfect Barbie, you can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe. Indigo Girl's Closer to Fine blasts during the trailer as Margot Robbie's Barbie embarks on a fresh journey that takes her to the real world. Will Ferrell's Mattel Toy CEO learns of this and freaks out about the dolls making their way into the real world. There's a moment when a guy on the beach slaps Barbie's behind and she punches him out. Ken and her get arrested. The tagline of the movie is, if you love Barbie, if you hate Barbie, this movie is for you. Amen, sister. Yeah, that sounds great. I wish that footage would have been released online, but either way, super excited for the Barbie movie. The next movie they decided to showcase is the upcoming Willy Wonka prequel movie titled Wonka, starring Timothée Chalamet. And let me tell you, when I first read the description of this footage, I thought it was a prank. I was like, no way, that's actually what's going down in the movie, but listen to this. The footage shows snippets of Wonka on a 7-year journey to perfect his craft. It's a pilgrimage that involves tracking down cocoa beans in the jungle, living out of a tiny apartment where he uses a machine to make chocolate and do everything he can to break into an industry that's apparently partially dominated by a chocolate cartel. Eventually, Wonka throws a wrench in the system by inventing chocolate that can make people fly. No, seriously. All of this is secondary to the headline here, which is that none other than screen legend Hugh Grant shows up to play an Oompa Loompa. Grant's character is extra tiny and can be spotted inside a glass case on Wonka's desk. When Wonka asks what an Oompa Loompa is, Grant replies, allow me to refresh your memory with a song so renewously catchy it will never leave your mind. That is what is going to be going down in the Willy Wonka prequel movie, The Chocolate Cartel versus Willy Wonka. What? And again, keep in mind, this movie is not going to be dark, gritty, or sad. It is supposed to be very whimsical. It's from the same director who did the first 2 Paddington movies, Paul King. It sounds kind of wacky and fun, and I have heard some people say that the Oompa Loompas look eerily similar to what the people look like in the Polar Express. So it's going to have that uncanny, uncomfortable feel with some CGI Oompa Loompas. But Willy Wonka versus the Chocolate Cartel, who would have thought? From there, they decided to talk about the upcoming Meg sequel, Meg 2, The Trench. They had Jason Statham and a lot of the cast members roll up onto the set and show off some trailer footage. We have a description here for you guys. The trailer opens with 2 land-bound prehistoric monsters eating a large bug, with an on-screen text warning that for 75 million years, one species ruled the world. The T-Rex? No. The Meg, which eats a T-Rex. Jason Statham is recruited again by Cliff Curtis to hunt another giant creature in the trench. But then, deep underwater, the team starts to get picked off by the biggest Meg anyone has ever seen. We then get various monsters attacking by land and by sea, with Statham almost getting eaten by a shark. We get more scenes of tourists almost getting eaten and a trench creature eating a helicopter. The teaser ends with Statham leaping into the air on a jet ski to face off against a shark with a sword. That sounds like ridiculous, nonsensical, over-the-top action. Jason Statham versus a shark. You got me in, baby. It's gonna open up with him eating a T-Rex? Meg 2, let's do it. Joking aside, yeah, that first Meg movie was alright, but you know what? This sounds kind of like dumb fun. Turn your brain off, eat some popcorn, and just have a good time at the theater. I'm kind of looking forward to that. The next movie they decided to focus on here is Dune Part 2. They had a lot of the cast members get up on this set and showcase some footage. Some of the detailed descriptions we have here is the jaw-dropping trailer begins with Chani and Paul sitting at the edge of the desert. It's breathtaking. Just imagine water, he tells her. Florence Pugh's Princess Corino says, in the shadow of Arrakis lies many secrets, but the darkness to all of that is what remains. Fury will rise flashes across the screen as the Pic's tagline. What if Paul Atreides was still alive, asks Pugh's character. We see him rise as a great leader among the Fremen, getting advice from Javier Bardem Stigler's about riding the worm, a great rite of passage with the tribe. Awesome grappling and hooked work as Paul tries to wrestle and mount the beast, getting swallowed up by the sand. There's a shot of someone's eyes turning blue, getting high on the spice. Yeah, a lot of people said the best part of the trailer is getting to see a glimpse of Timothée Chalamet's character actually riding one of those those giant worms. I thought the first Dune movie was spectacular, so I'm very much looking forward to the second part here, and it definitely sounds like it's going to be the big payoff that took a lot of setting up from the first movie. Jumping on from there, they moved to talk about the upcoming Nun sequel, The Nun 2, where it was described that in the actual audience, when the lights were off while they were watching the Dune footage and they were about to transition to the nun stuff, they had actual people dressed as nuns in the dark there, so when they turned the lights on, they just had nuns all around them. That's pretty cool touch. We do have here a description of the footage that they showed, so let's get into it. The Nun 2 footage shown during WB's panel featured a young girl in Romania sent to clean a church, only to be bullied by a bunch of girls attempting to scare her by forcing her to stare at a stained glass window. After leaving her alone in the dark, she sees the nun emerge behind her, but her attempt to escape the church fails as the mean girls have locked her in. The footage then shifts into the trailer, which reveals the plot to be about a wave of killings taking place and the Vatican believing the titular demon to be responsible, and as such sends a now fully ordained nun sister, Irene, to face her once again. The Nun 2 footage highlights far more stylish production value than the first film, potentially indicating a bigger budget than its predecessor. The studio also indicated having big plans for how the sequel would carry on the Conjuring universe. Farmiga and Reed were in the attendance of the panel, with the former teasing Irene's sense of duty in stopping Valak, while in the latter discussing making her franchise debut and joking she isn't a fan of horror movies. The two also discussed their experience filming in a real abandoned church in France, with Farmiga revealing she gets frightened easily. Look, I saw a lot of people mention that the footage for The Nun 2 actually looks genuinely good. Like, it's not a whole bunch of generic stuff done in the Conjuring universe. Some of the set pieces actually seem to be really nice. It has that frightening tone again. The Nun continues to be the worst Conjuring movie in my opinion, so I'm not that excited for The Nun 2, but I do have hopes they can maybe make a better sequel. I wasn't a big fan of the first Annabelle movie, but the second Annabelle film, Annabelle Creation, was amazing. I'm hoping that same thing can happen here, because it looks like a lot is riding on this second Nun movie. They're saying here it's a setup for more Conjuring movies to come, and we know a fourth movie's on the way, the TV series. They're going strong with the Conjuring universe, so I'm still excited about that. Here's then where they started focusing on the DC panel. Now, kind of the funny story about this, at the beginning of the presentation, David Zaslav confirmed that James Gunn and Peter Safran, the heads of DC Studios, would be on stage to talk about their 10-year plan, but they didn't really reveal anything new. They just talked about basically 3 upcoming movies: Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2, and that Flash trailer. So a lot of people were kind of disappointed not a lot of new stuff was shown. Like, jumping into it with Blue Beetle, they had the cast on stage and they were talking about some of the themes and inner workings of the movie, and then they ended up showing the same trailer with like a little bit of extended footage. Then they moved on to talk about Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom, where they did reveal some new footage. There's been a lot of interesting behind the scenes drama going on with Aquaman 2. A lot of rumors going around that the test screenings for this film have gone really badly. You know, it's always hard to trust test screening rumors here, but we heard early on that The Flash was testing super well, and that's all we continue to hear before the movie comes out. Today, people will actually finally see the movie, and I think I will make a separate video on their reactions to the film. But getting into what footage they showed for Aquaman 2, they have it here. Safran also shared a first look of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which revealed Momoa's hero has a baby boy. More of the plot was shared, including that Black Manta, played by Yahaba Abdul-Mateen II, using a black trident that gives him greater powers, is threatening the surface world, with Aquaman needing to team up with his brother Orm. Really, from everything I'm hearing in terms of plot and even tiny visuals, it sounds like it's a good movie, or at least a simple film. It's just two brothers who had a difference with each other now teaming up, needing to stop Black Manta, which I think was a great villain, and now to hear that he's got power that rivals Aquaman, this sounds like it could be good. I don't know exactly what makes it a bad movie, if that stuff is true, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. For now, still looking forward to Aquaman 2. But let's talk about the damn Flash. Alright, so this was kind of the big thing. The panel ended with them revealing a brand new trailer for the upcoming Flash movie, and guys, I was already looking forward to this movie. You guys know, even with the controversies, the Ezra Miller stuff, all the behind the scenes drama, I've always been looking forward to the Flash because, one, it's a Flash movie, okay? I've been wanting a Flash movie for a long time. Michael Keaton Batman's gonna be in here. Yes, please. All the trailers have looked really good. This trailer, was phenomenal. I posted my full first time reaction of the trailer on TikTok if you want to watch it there, but I loved it, man. It gave me goosebumps. I can feel the emotions coming off. I know a lot of people are going on about the visual effects of the movie, saying it looks like a video game, something out of Fortnite, but I don't know, maybe it's just a preference thing. The visual effects don't look horrendous to me. I kind of like the look of them. There's also just so many awesome, fantastical moments in here. I couldn't help but to have my jaw open, just like looking at the Batcave, Michael Keaton mentioning his iconic line of, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." Even those little quick moments of Ben Affleck's Batman, which this will be his last performance, sadly. He looks great. Sasha Calle's Supergirl also looks to be doing a great job in here fighting off Zod. That one moment where she like hits him using that pole, I was like, oh, that was cool. As far as like little Easter eggs or tidbits that I noticed in here is, for one, we do get to see Flash's like proto suit. This is the suit he was wearing before he was gifted one, or I should say before he made his more professional looking suit in the Justice League. During the original Man of Steel event, this is what he was wearing going around saving people. The shots of Michael Keaton Batman facing off against the Zod villains, I never thought that would be something that would go together, but I kind of like the look of it. I do agree that it's kind of weird seeing Michael Keaton's Batman in daylight, since Burton always filmed him in the dark, but it's something I've gotten used to. Like that one shot where he puts out his wings and he's blocking the bullets, that looks awesome. I get it if you're not wanting to see the movie because of the dramas and controversies and all that, but like, I am genuinely excited for this thing. We'll still have to wait and see what the new DC universe looks like after this film and whether they decide to keep Ezra Miller, because now it's looking like maybe they do keep him. Yeah, David Zaslav and Peter Safran just praising Ezra Miller, saying that they are one of the best actors they have ever worked with. Still, we know that could just be talk for right now, and then once The Flash is released in a couple of months, they go, oh, Ezra Miller's going to be busy doing other stuff. We're going to recast The Flash. We'll have to wait and see, but I thought that trailer was fan-frickin-tastic. And that really basically wraps up right now the Warner Brothers panel. Only thing we'll have left to talk about here is the reactions to the Flash movie. We'll finally get some actual people who aren't attached to this movie letting us know their thoughts and whether this is one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. So stay tuned on the channel along with the rest of the week for all the other studios presenting at CinemaCon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.